How are you doing today, Susan?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for connecting us with all these wonderful people we get the pleasure of speaking with today. Yvette and Maurice and Alphonse, thank you.
You're welcome.
We would love to teach you all and show you all today a little bit of what we do, which has actually gone on to save lives, because as we all know, bullying can be extremely difficult for some people, especially when they're being bullied all day in school, and then it's cyberbullying and it begins to affect their mental health. A lot of people turn to addiction or wind up becoming depressed. And these are real things that are happening that we see all the time. You know, we speak with parents, adults, you know, the parents of children who have taken their own lives because they were abused and mistreated to the worst extent. So this work we do is truly so important. And we would love for you to really hear us today as best as you can, and to carry out the mission that, you know, everything that we do here in the States. We would love to have you guys as, like, you know, I look at it as this tree, right? As another branch of the Buddha bullying tree, to carry out all the wonderful conversations that we have where you are, so that you guys can also go on to save lives, because that's what this does. Simply opening up and having a genuine conversation. We're all human beings and we all need each other. And sometimes all we really need is to just talk to one another, to connect, and to not feel alone, to not feel isolated, because that's where all the negativity manifests. That's where depression manifests. That's where anxiety manifests. That's where all the loneliness and sadness, especially if you're being bullied, that's where that manifests. That's where that stays. It stays inside of us. And we need to get that out of our bodies, because it's okay to not be okay. And today we're going to tell you all about ourselves and why we do what we do, and why we fight to end bullying. And we really hope that you guys will join us and begin to carry out the mission in your country. It means so much to us. One world, one tribe.
Before we start, Jessica and Solange, can you introduce yourself to Susan?
Hi, Susan. My name is Solange. I am 16 and I am a junior out here in Palm Springs. So I'm in the 11th grade. I have been with this organization for almost 4 years now, and I absolutely love it. It has helped me overcome so many obstacles in life, as well as be able to open my eyes and really understand what other people are going through, and helps give us tools in order to be able to help other people in the formats that they need the help. So a little bit about me. I started getting bullied in elementary school. It started up at about 3rd grade. I was always told these ugly words for the way that I dressed, or the clothes that I would wear, or the lunch that I would pack, or the people I would hang out with, but also because I am adopted. And I am 1 out of 7 in my family who are adopted. So I was always told that I would never be loved or never find a home who would accept me and encourage me to succeed in life, which thankfully I do, and I love them very much. But it took a lot for me to not fall into a dark place while overcoming those obstacles if it wasn't for this organization, because this organization taught me to understand the opinions of others, but to be able to turn that negativity into kind of a fuel to keep going and to be positive, and to assure myself that as long as I am positive and I can put my mind to it, that I can succeed whatever I want to do in life, as long as I reflect the same energy back. So if I give positivity, and we sit here tonight or in the morning for you guys, and we are here talking about all the things we can do to make this world a better place together, as Cassie said, how we are one, then that just helps us influence and make our world just that much better. So I really hope that you guys get as much as you can from our organization in this presentation today, and really understand that we are so excited to be here, and thank you for having us. So that's a little bit about me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I know, Susan, you were saying, obviously, as we know, bullying is prevalent all around the world, right? It doesn't discriminate. It's the one thing, unfortunately, that we all can come together as one and understand that we've all either been through it or someone we love has been through it. And there are so many different levels of bullying. There's physical bullying, there's verbal bullying, there's cyber bullying. And we're here today to just help you guys, hopefully pay it forward so that you guys want to pay it forward to your community, because we have seen drastic differences in our communities, as just as much as having conversations. That's really all it is. You know, we simply open up a safe space to understand each other and to come together, make sure that no one ever feels alone. So let us know if there's anything specific you'd like us to talk you through, or like any proper tools or tips we can give you, as we've been doing this a long time. You know, we're here to help, and we'd love for you to carry out our mission where you are, and to be, you know, world leaders in your country the way that we're trying to be, you know, leaders here in our country, and really spread the good word and fight the good fight. It feels so good to give back. It's truly so fulfilling to just watch people's lives truly turn around by simply having these honest conversations and knowing that you're accepted no matter what it is you're feeling or what it is you're going through. We've all been through it. We've all been bullied. And if not us, even though I feel like we probably all have had a little bit of bullying, someone we know. Can we all agree? Like, we've either been bullied or like someone we know has been bullied. And like, people like to sometimes joke about it, right? Those are some, you know, the people that are able to do that, I find that they have problems later on in life because they're holding these things in, right? And the more that we let it out of our body and we talk about these things, also everybody's different. You know, some people might be able to overcome bullying really easily. And you know what, kudos to them to have that strong skin, but it's also very okay if you don't. It's, you know, words do hurt. And we've gone on to see people that we work with, moms and dads who have lost their children as young as 8 years old, who have committed suicide at 8 years old, killed themselves, if I'm being completely transparent with you all, because they were being bullied so badly they couldn't handle it. And we are here to make sure that never happens again, to make sure that we have the proper conversations and we provide all of the guidance and all of the love and all of the support. So if there's anything you'd like to share with us or anything that we can kind of guide you on, please let us know, because that's what we're here to do. And we have served thousands of students doing this, and we've heard every story in the book. No story is crazy. No story is weird. We've heard everything. No one's alone. So if there's anything you want to share, or anything that you maybe want to ask that we can maybe help even a friend with, please let us know, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to just serve you guys, and we're so happy to support you and uplift your community. And hopefully you guys can carry on our messages.
And also, just to, before Jessica speaks, Susan, I think the most important thing about Buddha Bullying is creating a safe space, because after we have a conversation today, obviously, you know, Yvette, Maurice, Alfonso, you will probably talk about it. You know, maybe share with others. Like Yvette maybe would say, oh my God, I was on a Zoom with these American kids, and share their stories. And we're going to do the same, saying, oh my God, we had a Zoom with these wonderful kids from Nairobi, because we are one world. And I think what we share with you today, obviously we will do this again in the near future. This is obviously the first one. And hopefully you'll inspire more students to come on board. But it's really creating a safe space to have a conversation so kids could understand each other. That's why today we have Jessica and Solange, because they're more peer-to-peer.
Hi, Susan. I'm Jessica.
Hi.
19. I'm a freshman in college, and I'm a Buddha Bullying Women's Ambassador, and I've been with this organization since 2020 for the past 2 years, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Yes. When I was about 7th grade, 2nd grade, I was being bullied for not standing into like gender norms. I used to like love dressing up like a tomboy and wearing shorts to school. I love playing basketball. I love doing cheerleading, but I was a very much kid that loved doing everything. And so I stood out. And not only that, I was the only African American in my school. So I was like the one person out of a bunch of kids that really stood out. And kids would bully me because I would go through stuff at home and they would talk bad about me and they would bully me, hit me. And one day it got really bad where they pushed me into the men's restroom. I was locked in there for a whole school day and the school didn't find me till the end of the day. And I tried committing suicide at a young age. However, I was unsuccessful. My grandmother found me. And I started focusing more on the stuff that I love doing, like music, arts, and all of that. And I started focusing more on myself and trying to be better for myself and not focused on what other people said. And I wasn't going to be that one person that was different. So I moved schools and I decided to be more involved, and now I'm here with Buddha Bullying, talking to you guys about what I've been through.
Thank you so much for being so vulnerable, both of you guys, and being so honest. I think that being vulnerable, which is, you know, just being honest, even in the most hurtful things you've gone through in life, is the most powerful thing you could ever do. Because the truth is, we all go through things, all of us. Nobody hasn't gone through something hard. But you know what the greatest thing is? When someone decides to share it, because every single person has gone through something hard. So when you decide to use, you know, your power and use your voice and to share your stories, it just means so much to us. And I love watching you both shine, and I love seeing how far you've come, Jessica. I know that we've talked about this in person, and I got to hug you so close, and I'm just so proud of you. I'm so proud of you too, Solange, with everything you've gone through. I've known you for so long, and thank you for sharing today. And do we have a Taj with us? Is that how you pronounce your name? Taj?
Taj.
Taj, it's so nice to meet you, Taj. How old are you?
Nice to meet you. 10 years old.
10 years old.
Wow.
It looks like a beautiful day where you are. So beautiful. Yes. Thank you so much for being on this call today and listening to us. It means a lot.
Or does anybody want to share? Alfonso, you have a question?
Share. I have to share with you today the bullying that I have passed in school when the teacher of our Kiswahili walked in. She liked to beat me because I don't know Kiswahili.
So physical bullying?
Me. And she likes and beat me so that it can also discourage me, and I can think that I am in the priest. I can think that I am in the prison, so I can't. And she walked in, I can't manage it, and I just decide to move out. So that is the thing that can discourage me at school there.
Right.
And also some children also likes to discussing me about my physical nature of God that she gives me. And the way, if you look me, really, I'm not on the, I don't have a good shape of head. If you look.
I think you have a great head.
Yeah.
You know what, Alfonso?
So when they like to discuss me, also they encourage me to share my information. I cannot understand.
Right.
So I can't communicate with them. So I just become fear. I can even let school sometimes to be absent. So, you know, those are parts of bullying.
Right. Well, you know what I like to think? I always say this. We were talking about this yesterday, Dimitri. Hurt people, right? So most of the time when someone's lashing out or making fun of something as silly as your head shape, which you have a great head shape, it's someone that's just hurting themselves. You know what I mean? And I think, so before I want to piggyback on something, Solange was talking about turning negativity into positivity. That's because everything that we do in life starts right here. It's your mindset. And nobody in this world, nobody can tell you who you are, or nobody knows who you are but you. And like, what gives someone else the power to tell you who you are, right? Mm-hmm. So the whole thing about the fuel, and this is something I used to say a lot because this was my experience with bullying. I wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be a singer, and I started to become more successful, and people would make fun of me and try to bring me down, right? This is my personal story, and it doesn't necessarily relate to everybody, but for me, I was getting bullied for my career path and what I wanted to take on. And I was told you'll never make it and you're such a joke and blah, blah, blah. And every time I heard something like that, I had this like imaginary fuel tank, and I would just think, every time I hear something negative, it just makes me want to prove people wrong that much more, because I know who I am. No one else does. I don't care what shape this is and what shape, whatever. That means nothing. That's so silly, but people will find anything to bring you down because they're really the ones that are hurting. And I was always like, you know what? This makes me want to prove myself 10 times more. And that's what I did. I moved to Hollywood. I became a successful actress on my own TV show. And I was part of a girl group that was signed to a record label. And I became the vice president of the most magnificent organization, B2B Bullying, all because I didn't allow that one person, whoever, or those tons of people, I've had lots of people say things, I didn't allow them to tell me who I was. I didn't allow them to dictate my life, because if anything, every time one of them would say something negative, I was just like, nope, I know myself so much better. I can't wait to prove you wrong and you wrong and you wrong and you wrong. And the tank just filled up, and I had so much passion inside to truly go after my passion. So if you are going through something hurtful in life or something like crazy, or people are making fun of you, just know that they don't have any control over you.
I appreciate you sharing as a man. And we also teach in B2B Bullying, we have to have empathy for that person that's doing that, because I don't know you, but you have the most beautiful smile. I don't know about your head. Your head looks normal. I have a shaved head. I feel like, you know, people, and also we talk about this. Usually someone picks on you or bullies you because they're jealous. There's something you have,
or because they're just miserable and they need to put the blame on someone else, you know?
And the other thing you have to remember is you don't know what's going on in that kid's family. There could be a lot of issues. They could be getting bullied from the family, from siblings. So there's so much dynamic. The only thing that you have to worry about is you, and having a good support team, and really believing in yourself and really sticking and being focused. Just me as a man, being an immigrant, you know, I came to America when I was 5 years old. It was very difficult because I got made fun of not being able to speak English. I was a little darker than a lot of the kids I went to school with. So the name calling and the words really hurt. And till this day, I can't say that all of us on here, we remember something that's really hurtful from an early age that's kind of stuck with us. So as Cassie said, that doesn't define who you are, because you have such an amazing journey. that you're still finding yourself. You're so young. So
that your whole life ahead of you.
Yeah.
And it always, there's like, anytime you hit what feels like a rock bottom, or you have a dark cloud above your head, the sun always comes out to shine every single time.
I totally.
I do like what you said, Dimitri, because we do believe in always being the bigger person and leading with grace.
Right.
And there's so much strength in even confronting your bully and being like, hey, are you good?
Yeah.
Are you good? Because I'm good. I know who I am. But clearly, if you have so much time to talk about me, there must be something that's really hurting you, because happy people who are truly happy with who they are, who are fulfilled, successful, and in whatever it may be, right? They don't do that.
Could I ask a question for the kids in Nairobi? Who has a cell phone? Do you guys have cell phones? You do. So do you find bullying on, like cyberbullying there as well?
Bullying on some type of social media or text?
Or is it more in-person bullying at school?
More in person.
So that's more in person at school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have several. Most of these students are from different schools. These ones are from. This one's actually Maurice and Alphonse are from Kisumu.
Oh.
That's the western part of Kenya.
Okay.
Cool.
Then TJ, Yvette, they are from Nairobi, different schools. But I said because they have already closed schools, I said maybe I could pick a few who are willing to participate.
Oh, wonderful.
Then later on, we can now work with individual schools that have approached when they are even in session.
You like to go by TJ? Do you go by TJ?
Yes, that's his name.
TJ. TJ.
He has an experience. He can tell you about his story also.
Yeah, so we heard from everyone else a little bit. I'd love to hear a little bit about you. This is a very safe space. No one here is going to judge you, but we all are here to support you. I'd love to just hear a little bit about your story, or even just something you love to do.
So, mostly, like I get bullied, like when at IT lessons, when my other friends come, and then we make a line. They usually push me and throw my shoes far away from where from where we keep them, so they can be first in line to use the computers.
Wow. Okay. So a little bit more physical bullying, and you get pushed around a little bit. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Is this going on all the time?
All the time.
Have you told the teacher?
Yes, I told the teacher.
And did the teacher do anything about it yet, or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So maybe we can send an email out and make the teacher a little more aware of what's going on. I have a question. Okay. Alphonse, Maurice, Yvette, if you saw that happening to TJ, would you stand up for him? Would you stand up for him? Can I see a hands up? TJ, you have support, and all you ever have to do is speak out and know that you are so important. And whatever is happening, those people are just lonely or hurting themselves, because nobody, like we said, who's truly happy does that. So know that it has nothing to do with you. Hurt people, like I said, just like to hurt people. That's one of my favorite quotes, because it's so true. And I've learned it in the 31 years I've been living on this planet.
Susan, I have a question for you. So when that happens in schools, like here today, I did a seminar and we were talking about that, because kids, even here in America, they tell their teacher once, twice, 3 times, nothing happens. You know, the teacher says, yes, we're going to take care of it. What do teachers do when they hear? Do they brush it off, or do they take it seriously?
Some teachers just brush it off, but in some schools, they take it seriously. Some have anti-bullying messages.
Like zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance, but you find in some cases, they just dismiss, they think it's just physical, and maybe to that child, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
But to the teacher, it's not a big issue.
Right.
And obviously to Taj, it's a big issue because Taj, I feel like it makes you feel sad, right? When they do that.
Yeah.
Do you have friends that stick up for you? Do you have a support team at school?
Yeah.
Let's say that happens. What happens next after that?
Like my friends usually, my other friends usually just help me to avoid them. And sometimes when I'm not there, they tell the teacher for me, maybe when I'm ill or I'm not able to come to school.
So do you not like going to school because you're getting bullied?
Not much.
No, so you do like going to school.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing. That's very important.
Yeah,
and as Cassie said, you know, this happens, it's happened to many kids that we speak to. You're not alone. So Solange has had experiences with friend groups. Jessica has had experience, and even us as adults, I'm sure even Susan could share, even it continues in our adult world, but it's how you manage it, really how you manage it, and how the tools that you use to move forward. Because I guess the kids are a little bit taller than you that do this.
The kids, they are like this. Most of them are the same age as me.
Yeah, but like height wise, are they taller or smaller?
Some are taller, but some are shorter than me.
Right. So you have to, like, you and your friends have to, you know, keep smiling and remember to have empathy, because you are a bright little man. And like I said to Alphonse, a lot of times, you know, kids do this because really from our experience, they're having issues at home. Just keep strong. I think having conversations with your teacher and reporting it and having some ally like Susan
always
is really,
sticking up for yourself and making sure you tell them, you know, report it to the right people. No matter what anyone tells you, you're never, sometimes in America, they use the word snitch.
Yeah. Do you guys know what that means?
That's a weak word. That's someone trying to make you feel less than. There's no such thing as snitch. If someone's doing something wrong, you have every right to go tell somebody and take the control, take the power into your own hands, and make sure that you don't go one more day if you don't have to with someone trying to belittle you. You seem like such a light, TJ. Like, I could just tell you're so fun and so cool and so smart. So don't ever let anyone dim that light, ever. Promise me? Pinky promise?
Yes.
Do you guys know, do you know American slang? Do you know what snitch means? What's the difference, Solange, between a tattletailer and tell a snitch?
Well, I think that it depends in some formats which way you look at it, because a lot of the times whoever is calling you the snitch after you speak up is probably because they're in the wrong and you use your power to say something and call them out when they were doing something they shouldn't have been doing. So you can go two ways about it. You can be a snitch, being in trouble for something they didn't do, or you can tell when that means that you are doing the right thing. Right. Whereas if I know you're being bullied, TJ, and I'm to go and let Susan know, then I'm doing the right thing because I'm trying to help you. But if I was to go lie to Susan and get you in trouble for something you weren't doing, then that would be referred to as a snitch because you're doing the wrong thing. You're not necessarily trying to be helpful. You're trying to belittle the situation, make it worse.
Yvette, do you have something to share with us?
At school, people get talked about, and some even make you feel bad. Like, for example, they can make you feel bad by like telling you that your stuff are bad or that you don't have enough money to buy something.
They make you feel less than them.
Yes.
Well, you know in your heart how amazing you are, though, right?
Yes.
Solange had a really good story when she was a kid. Solange, your experience with that? I think it's something similar that Yvette could relate and know that she's not alone.
I live in a family of, there's 9 of us. 7 of us are adopted and 2 are my mom's biological children, but we are all siblings no matter what. So obviously, a lot of the clothes my older sister used, I would use. She would pass them down and I would use them, because sometimes you have to understand that not everyone is given the same opportunities and resources in life. And so opportunities don't come all the time. But when an opportunity comes by, you need to grab that opportunity and hold on to it, because you don't know when you're getting another one. So when you look at it, for those who are maybe a little more fortunate than others, or those who can afford a little more than others, it's not about that. It's not about what you can afford and how much you can or can't afford. It's about being grateful for the opportunities you have. So a lot of the stuff that you are handed down, or maybe things that you can't afford now, but you want to work towards, that's the motivation you need to use. Like when we do assemblies, Cassie says all the time that you use that fuel to get you going. And in a car, in order to get a car going, you need to put gas in it. So you need to use that motivation to keep you going, so you have something to work towards. And maybe something that you can't have right now, you use that and you put that as a goal at the top of your list, and you work for that, and you build and use all the opportunities and resources that you can use to get you to that place. So then you can look back and say, hey, maybe I wasn't there at that point in my life, but I'm here now. And I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't set my mind to it right then there and made it happen. Exactly. So you just have to understand and realize that you have to love yourself, and you have to do what you feel is right for yourself. You need no one else to make you happy but you. So you got to work for you, so that way you can go far for yourself in life, not everyone else.
And materialistic things really mean nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They really don't. What matters most is that you're happy, you're healthy, you're at peace, you know who you are. You know, I didn't have all the things in the world growing up. I was blessed. I had a lot of wonderful things. I had a wonderful family, but I didn't have everything I wanted. A lot of people had things I didn't have. But you know what? That made me want to work so much harder to get them. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people in this world that have so much that life becomes almost boring for them. And that's a whole nother conversation we have to have with different students, you know, that are just feeling like, you know, they don't know what's next or what to work towards, because everything was always handed to them. So it can truly be a blessing or a curse, right? But everything in our life, whether we're the person that has it all or the person that doesn't have much, everything is our perspective and what we make of it. Whether we have it all and we find new passions and ways to give back, to make life more exciting, to make things make sense, or whether we don't have anything, but that gives us the fuel, the excitement to move forward and to find those things. It's all about how you perceive everything and how you set your mind. Your mind is the most powerful tool in your body, more powerful than anything else. So as long as you continue to tell yourself, I am amazing, I am worthy, my clothes, my shoes, none of that matters. That's all silly. People that talk about that, they don't have, sadly, they don't have substance. And that's sad. And maybe it's because they're going through something. And that's why we always suggest being the bigger person and even offering the mean people who can be really mean, our grace and empathy, because we don't know what people are fighting behind closed doors. But you are so beautiful, Yvette. And I know you know who you are, right? And you know you're amazing and beautiful and intelligent. So never let any of that get to you. And we're always here to talk if you need us.
I'd love to hear from Susan to share something with us.
Yeah, I'm very grateful, and I'm glad that we have this forum. I had to get different students. You know, some are doing exams now. Those in secondary school, Form 4s are doing exams. Others have closed. So we are expecting at least in the coming, in end of, let's say in May, possibly we can find some schools.
Does any of the kids from Nairobi want to share?
Has Maurice spoken? Maurice had a good...
Maurice has not spoken.
Maurice, he had a story to tell.
We would love to hear
he changed schools because of some reasons. Maybe he should tell us why he changed school.
So I changed school because of we have some students that talk about me negatively way, but some poor in some subjects. So I can decide to change the school to another school.
And it's also healthy to change environments sometimes, and change is really healthy. So you should be really proud of yourself for that. It's really
Maurice,
cool.
do you like the school you're going to now?
Yes.
And what kind of bullying did you experience at that other school?
The other experience, like experience that I'm past. I'm free in school than the other school I left.
Yeah, Maurice, I relate to you where you're coming from about the switching schools because of how bad bullying is. And when I switched schools, I was on the cheer team. I was actually in the district all select choir. It was the honor choir. You had to audition for it, and they only picked 2 kids from every school in the district. So that was a fun opportunity I got to do. And I saw more positive outcomes when I changed school than the negative outcomes when I stayed at school. So personally, changing schools for me was the best thing. So I can relate to you on that.
I love how much we can relate, right? Like we're all the same, no matter where you come from or what you look like or how tall you are or whatever it may be, your hair color or skin color, we're all the same. And that's the most beautiful thing. And we're just so grateful to hear your stories. It takes a lot to do this. Yeah. It does. And we recognize that. It's hard to come on here and to be vulnerable. We do it all the time. So we're a little bit more accustomed to it. We're a little bit more used to it, but it's a lot. It can be embarrassing. You can get shy or whatever it may be, but it's the first step to really taking your power back.
Well, I see 4 empowered kids here that Susan brought on board.
Have you guys learned some stuff today? Did you learn some things? Did you learn a good amount about taking your power back and standing up for yourself and making sure you surround yourself with the right people and never bowing down? Okay, good. I want to make sure because I've got your back. I'm in your corner now. I'm going to be asking Susan and checking back in.
You know what happens also before we wrap up? If Yvette, Maurice, Alphonse, or TJ, if you have a question for Solange or myself, Cassandra, Jessica, please let us know. But I do want to share with you that you know, bullying happens to everybody, whether you come from money, whether you don't come from money, it comes in all forms. And, you know, I got bullied tremendously being an immigrant kid, and I always laughed, and I never I would definitely cry and be upset when I would go home, but I never let them take my power.
That's what they wanted to do. Exactly. And when they do it and they see you getting affected by it, that's when they try to keep doing it because they're really unhappy people.
So keep up the positive work you students are doing, and I hope you do well on your tests. That's very important. Education, we love seeing that. Susan, we really appreciate you and the students that came on today.
Just have one last question. Okay, if Dimitri was getting bullied, show of hands, would you stick up for him? If I was getting bullied, would you stick up for me?
Yes.
If Solange was getting bullied, would you stick up for her? If Jessica was getting bullied, would you stick up for her?
Everybody.
If Yvette was getting bullied, or Alphonse, or Maurice, or TJ, or Susan, would you stick up for them?
Of course.
So you have a tribe right here always. Remember this.
Yeah.
And if ever something's happening, you can come to us. You have friends now. This is the point of it. And it is, I don't care what anyone tries to tell you, this is the coolest thing you can have, is a family, is somebody, or people that are going to back you up in life. And just know that you've got us for life. And we're so excited to continue on with these programs. And hear your stories and to hear you share and open up. It's so important sometimes to get that negative stuff out of our body and just talk about things. You know what I mean?
And no one has any last questions before we leave you? Alphonse, go ahead.
Yes, you guys, I have a question. How can I be saved from this bullying?
Be saved?
How can I be saved from this bullying so I can love school, so I can keep going continuously?
Of course. Can he be saved from this bullying so that he can continue on and love school and, you know, carry on and lead a more happy life is what he's asking. Do you have some suggestions, Dimitri? I have a couple, but I'll let you go first.
You know what?
You know,
Alphonse, as a guy, you know how to be saved. You know, you have to love yourself. And I'm very fortunate that my parents gave me the support, even though I did not share a lot of the bullying experiences with my family. I kept a lot of it in, which I don't recommend. I do recommend sharing, whether it's with your friend Maurice or whether it's another friend, because talking about it really helps. Really it does. And my advice, it does save you. My other advice is you have to be strong. You can't let someone define who you are at this point in your life, because you're young. You have the whole future ahead of you, you know. And I think the best way for me to tell you is if you don't love yourself, no one's going to love you. And that actually shows, you know, you're a happy guy, you smile, you know, you have so much light that I think other kids that bully you and stuff are jealous of you. And a lot of it does come from jealousy.
A lot of it.
A lot of it comes from, and you know, Yvette, whether you're wearing the right t-shirt or whether you're wearing, you must
I love your t-shirt.
I do too. I love the Jersey shirt. You must have a light in you that the kids are attracted to you. And that's why you're getting called names or whatever they're doing, is because it comes out of jealousy, and you have to overcome that. And then I'll let Cassie share her thoughts.
Yeah, to kind of go off of what Dimitri was saying. It's not that if you don't love yourself, no one's going to love you. People will love you even when you don't love yourself. But here's the thing. It won't matter to you, because all that really matters in life is loving yourself. When you do love yourself, you can accept the love from other people. And you can also ignore the hate from other people, because when you are so solid in your foundation, and that takes a long time, and it's okay if it doesn't happen like that, but as long as you work towards it every day is a stepping stone. As long as you promise me today that you're just going to take those steps or dive in, whatever it is, to learning how to love yourself. And here's what loving yourself means. Loving yourself doesn't mean, oh my God, suddenly I'm now perfect, so I should love myself. Loving yourself means you accept all of the parts of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, because we're not perfect. Not one person here is all good. That's not how we were made, right? That's not how we were created. We are human beings. We're not perfect. So you have to, self-love just means accepting it all, even the bad things, even the things that you don't like maybe about yourself, but it doesn't matter, because we all have those things. And it's learning to take those things and go, ugh, chuck it in the invisible garbage and say, I'm going to focus on all the things that I love about myself. And I'm going to find, you know, whatever hobby it is that makes me happy, the people around me that lift me up. If people around you don't make you feel good, they're going to weigh you down. You are what you surround yourself with. You truly are. And I've had to learn that in life. I've surrounded myself around people that were no good, that were bringing me down, that were causing anxiety and depression, which just, you know, I don't know if you guys know what that means, but loneliness and sadness and stress, and for no reason. And I realized when I found the people that understood me, that respected me for who I am, for who I love myself to be, was when I was able to really live a full life, because I no longer cared about what other people said, because what other people say about you, I love this quote, it's none of your business. Doesn't matter. It won't affect you unless you let it, ever. Nothing can affect this unless you let it. You have all of the power. You just have to believe it. You have all of the power to do anything you want, anything. We have seen people go to the moon.
Yeah.
We have seen people come from nothing and become billionaires, or, invent something, or become doctors and save so many lives. And it's because one thing, they believed in themselves. That's it. That's what it takes. You have to just believe it. It's all already there. You just have to believe it. And here's the thing with bullying. That's why we love having these conversations. Unfortunately, the lines are so blurred because every single person's story is so different, right?
Yeah.
All of us have been bullied in different ways. And we might feel like, oh, my bullying was the worst, but it affects everybody so deeply. That's why we always have to be kind and empathetic, but everybody's been bullied. But here's the thing. As Dimitri said, it all starts with one thing, and that's loving yourself, which once again doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't. I am far from perfect. I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't always like all the parts and pieces of me because I'm a human, but I learned to accept it all and take full power of who I am. And that's the number one tip. That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Loving yourself. That will get you so far, and standing up for yourself and having a voice for others and being kind. We can use so much more kindness in this world.
Cassie, I think that's such a great way you put it. And just so we end it, I'm going to let Jessica, because she has a great self-esteem ending, and Solange, and then we can wrap it up, because ending with self-esteem is so important.
So my self-esteem used to be really, really low. I used to hate myself, and I talk about my body. I used to be really, really skinny, and so I hated my body for how it looked. And then my mother is an obese woman, so I always thought I was going to be obese, and kids always were like, you're going to be fat just like your mom. And so it was like a body image thing for me. However, I've been more focusing on myself. I've been taking care of myself, like self-care. I do face masks. I listen to music a lot to get in my own calamity. And I just take time to be like, Jessica, things are okay. You're beautiful. You're amazing. Also, my friends, they are a big support. I'll talk bad about myself. I still do it now sometimes because of how I feel about my weight. And I'll talk bad about myself. And then my kids will look at me and they're like, no, say it 3 times. You're beautiful. And they'll make me tell myself I'm beautiful 3 times. And they make sure that I know that I'm cared about and loved. And it's just another comforting area, knowing that I love myself and I have people who love me. And I got to see it more the more I loved myself.
I would say that it definitely took some time to be able to grow and love myself. But I do martial arts and I love musical theater. And so being able to I know you guys don't have social media, but for us who were on it every day, all the time, we're constantly looking at our phones that by the hour, technology has become such a big part of our lives that turning off that source of power is so good, to just turn it off for a couple hours in the day and appreciate the air and the trees and the company of the people that you're with. So being grateful for the life that I've been given and the organization and the people we work alongside all the time, and you amazing people who we get to talk to and just share our voices with, and all the information that we have in here to just share it with you guys in hopes that you guys take this in the most positive and powerful way you possibly can. And now you guys have the exact same information to go and change in someone else's life. I'm not saying you have to go change 10 people's lives or be impactful or empowerment in 10 different people, but if you do one, I promise you it will make the biggest difference ever, because you never know what someone else is going through. So.
Can I just say one last thing to end this?
Yes.
Can I put you guys on the spot? Yvette, what's one thing that you love about yourself?
I like the way I normally like drawing.
Wow. So you're an artist.
She's an artist. Yeah.
So you love the way you draw?
Yes.
There's so much power in drawing. Art is so expressive. You can go a long way with that. Maurice and Alphonse, what are one thing that you each love about yourselves?
I like playing soccer.
You like what?
Playing soccer.
Soccer?
Soccer. Singing.
Our next,
I love that.
our next
And singing.
What about you?
Maurice.
Me, I'm like
Maurice.
I'm like soccer.
Mm.
I'm like saying. Yes, I'm like.
You love the way that you. Is that something you love about yourself? The way you play soccer? But you, TJ, what do you love about yourself?
Yes.
I like the way I do my studies.
Smart. That's amazing. You're very tapped in and very you enjoy your schoolwork. That's amazing. That's how I used to be in school. So now, if you can just tell yourselves this, just like for the next 3 days for me, at least one, and I would love for you to add on like 2 more. These are called affirmations. If you can just say, I love the way I draw. I'm an amazing artist. I love the way I play soccer. You know, I love the way I study. But if you could just for the next 3 days, tell yourself this and watch the way that it changes you, because it's been proven statistically, if you take a plant, it's been done with plants, the same plant, 2 plants. There was a study done where somebody spoke negatively to a plant for a week and it died. And they spoke positively to the same exact plant for a week and it sprouted. This is true. You can look it up because plants are living things and everything is energy, everything. So if you just simply give yourself, it might sound silly, but it works, that little bit of energy, that self-affirmation. I love the way I draw. I love my hair. You can add on to it. I love the way I love my sister. And you can also do another great tool. If ever, you need a little fix, is gratitude journaling. Just 5 things a day. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for my studies. I'm grateful for my playing soccer, my soccer team. I'm grateful for, my paint and my drawing pads. Those really do help. It's been shown statistically that it truly helps. So those are 2 things, affirmations and gratitude, that truly help. So we'll start with affirmations just for the next 3 days. And then I'd love for you to go longer. If you can just add on to that, maybe 1 more thing a day. So by the 3rd day, you've got 3 things you're telling yourself. Watch how much it changes you, but you've got to mean it and know that we all believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much. Does anybody have any last questions before we leave from my team or Susan's team?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How can I answer those languages? How can I answer those negatives the fact that I'm false?
Narratives?
How can we answer the negatives?
Yeah, maybe the way people bully and they say negative things about you. How can
he handle them?
How can I answer those?
Here's my best advice. You let it go in one ear and
get out
the other. Why? Because nothing anyone says about you matters unless you let it. Right?
Yeah.
Nothing. Just those types of people, they want to get a rise out of you. They want you to be upset. Don't let them. Just go, okay, I know who I am, but good for you. That's how I answer back. Truly, whenever anyone's ever said anything negative, like people are always gonna, like, we can't stop people from being negative, but what we can do is stop caring.
And stop hearing the negative.
Stop caring about, even though I know it hurts. I know that it genuinely hurts, but don't give it power. Don't give it the power. Go back in the freaking mirror and tell yourself you love yourself for 3 more reasons. Every time someone says something negative.
Maurice, one more thing just to add to that. I think the most important thing is not to feed into the negative bullying that you're receiving. We can receive things, but we could also let them go. and just say to yourself, pray for the person to get help, because obviously they're hurting so much. And this is a true fact. I've heard this from Solange, from Cassie, from many kids. A lot of times when you sit down with your bully, they become your friend.
Mm-hmm. So many times.
So many times, because they probably want a friendship. Don't we all want a friend at the end of the day?
Yes.
You know, boo to bullying.
Boo to bullying. Okay.
Boo to bullying.
Boo to bullying.
So nice meeting you all.
Thank
nice
you.
meeting you.
Kisses from California.
Bye.
From Nairobi.
From Nairobi with love.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.